A couple of stories that are breaking here over the last 45 minutes or so. If you were holding out hope for Ben Johnson, that news broke late last hour, going to the Bears. So best of luck to him and Caleb Williams. And Mike McCarthy could be done, right? He'll have the Saints opportunity, and if that one doesn't come together for him, and I think he's getting an interview. Is he getting like an in-person interview or a Zoom call?
I think so. I think he's got an in-person one coming up, yes.
Right on. So best of luck to everybody involved there. Back to New Orleans, where he was once a quarterback's coach.
Yes, sir.
Could make a lot of sense. John Fassel, OC, takes the job special teams coordinator, takes the job at the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not back for sure. I liked most things that he did other than the whole Zerline deal. That sucked. And the occasional rogue fake punt was just weird that he had that much authority and autonomy. What's the reaction been like, Brian, for you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I could do without Bones Fassel myself. I think he was a little bit too involved. I think McCarthy gave him too much latitude to affect the game the way he did. I think there's people in the organization right now that are happy that Bones Fassel, happy that they had the opportunity to work with him, happy that he's now somewhere else.
I feel like the Cowboys special teams is in a fairly good place, and maybe the next guy could improve upon some of the things they've been doing. A soccer guy's coming off the best season ever by a kicker, according to Pro Football Focus, because of the percentage that he hit, Brandon Aubrey, and the distance of some of those. His kicking score is the greatest in history. Jimmy Johnson here, cut 14 in the Cowboys coaching search. Take it away, Jim.
This decision is tied directly to the quarterback, Dak Prescott. He signed a $240 million contract, got a no-trade clause. He's had tremendous success in this system, so it doesn't make sense to bring in a new offensive system. The two key figures here, Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator for Dallas, and like I said, Dak's done a great job in that system. The other key figure is Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. He is very close to Dak. He was a coordinator prior to Schottenheimer. Now, Jerry, he could surprise us with a decision, but I think those two key guys are the ones you start with.
Okay, I don't mind that. If Dak's comfortable with the system, how much room for evolution is there inside? If you say we're staying with the West Coast passing game that Mike has and Schottenheimer has done and, Kellen Moore's familiar with, and a power running game, I think if you can just change out the power running game for a Shanahan-style running game, how much of a wishful thinking would it be that, they could actually pull off evolving that while still keeping Dak comfortable with the West Coast offense passing game, Brian?
Man, it's a tough question because to me, I don't want to believe that Dak Prescott doesn't want to learn a new offense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you can watch what other teams are doing and not want to try and do something differently. If you're so married to, well, I've got to have it this way, and you're basing everything on him, I'm trying to help Dak Prescott, don't get me wrong. But, man, I don't know how you cannot watch these games and not sit there and think like, well, man, we're not doing it the best way here. But if you're that stubborn about it and you don't want to, try and adapt and have a different plan for going forward, then you're just doomed to continue to do the things you are. And I don't think that's good enough. And if I'm Dak Prescott, I don't know how you just continually bring Kellen back, bring this back. It's okay with Shoddy. You haven't evolved with that. Now people will say, well, Brian, he was second in the MVP, race last year. Okay, I get that. But there's been some real up and downs here with this. It doesn't always seem like they're always have been on the same page. And so, I was kind of hopeful that somebody new would come in here and maybe make things and show Dak there's another way of doing this. I just don't feel we're going to get that with the current coaches that are being listed.
Yeah, I don't know how you can expect different results and a different system and different scheme with the same dudes in the room.
Yeah.
Just Shoddy, Kellen Moore, Nussmeier, whatever, Dak. It's going to be the same stuff. You've got to go bring a guy in who has the answers. Hey, this is how it's done and this is how you coach it. If you've never done this before, that's a tough thing to just snap your fingers and say, okay, I'm going to start coaching this thing now, a scheme that I've never in my life done because I'm Brian Schottenheimer and my dad was Marty and this is how we did it 30 years ago and this is how McCarthy did it and this is how we do it.
Yeah. I think it's probably just wishful thinking, that they could stay with somebody Dak is comfortable with and manage to evolve the offense. But last year in the second half of the season, I mean, it showed enough flexibility there to make a pretty big, change in a way that produced good results. What Wolchuk said in the opening segment, that after games this year, there were sources that said Schottenheimer and other people in the building were kind of scratching their head as far as what Mike McCarthy, was bringing to the table. I guess there's a little bit of hope in there. I'll just reset it. I don't think you're winning a Super Bowl doing basically what you've asked Dak to do or what Dak is comfortable in doing. You need to find a way to make more explosive plays without risking the football. And I think that's what, the McVays and Shanahans and their disciples specialize in. We go to a 3-round mock draft here for you, GBag Nation. Mock draft database, mock draft simulator will be the brain power behind this one. Blogging the Boys did a write-up on it. Round 1, 12th overall pick. Would you give a thumbs up, thumbs down if you end up with Arizona wide receiver Ted McMillan?
Big thumbs up. I think you still are right there. I think if you get a top 5 player, you get likely the best receiver in the draft, depending on where you have we have Hunter from Colorado. But yeah, this, in my opinion, would be the best receiver in the draft.
So you're saying round 1 of the draft, I'm out at a local Pluckers like the rest of the hosts. We're having ourselves a damn good time. Pick 12 pops up. That's the name. You're saying that party cranks up now to a full 10 out of 10.
It'd be like CeeDee Lamb falling to you at 17.
Yeah.
Especially with those highlights.
He's the best receiver in the class for me. I think he's better than Travis Hunter as a
physicality,
receiver.
hands. How's his routes? Good routes?
Good, smooth as hell. Now, he's not like the fastest guy to create natural separation, kind of similar to the knock that you got from DeAndre Hopkins.
Your play caller's going to help you with that.
But the guy's got a massive catch radius. It doesn't really matter to me. Like, he's contested balls, 50-50 balls in the air. Those are his to win.
He's not going to drop a ball. This kid just is not. I mean, he is, everything about him is all about the catch point, extending, separation. If you want to watch him, if you really want to watch him play against Arizona, playing against Hunter when Hunter was playing corner at Colorado.
From last season?
He lit him up.
Second round, we go to Ohio State, where running back Travion Henderson is on the board, and he comes to the Cowboys with the 44th overall pick in this mock. A 3-down back, says the write-up, runner, receiver, pass protector. He checks all the boxes the Cowboys should be looking for at 5'10", 208. Would that get a thumbs up from you as well, Brian?
Absolutely, it would. I mean, I feel like that there's probably some second-round running backs that they're probably off the board potentially here. But if Henderson would be the top player that I would have in the top of the 3rd round is how I would look at it. But this guy is exceptional when it comes to explosive runs. He can catch the football. He's a really good pass protector. He had only 1 drop this season, too, throwing him the football. And so he's got some complete back traits to his game, and he's a very, very physical. It makes him a very valuable player to have. That pick at 44. Depending who else would be on the board for the running backs, though, that one would be good for me.
That would be incredible. Dude had 395 carries over his 3 years at Ohio State, 20 more than Ashton Genty had in one season.
Yeah,
alone.
he had 606 yards, though, after contact. That just shows you what kind of a physical
he split
player.
time with Judkins this year. I thought he should have come out last year, and he'd have been in the conversation for best running back in the class right there with Jonathan Brooks and Trey Benson for me, and then he decided to go back to school. So I'd be all in on Travion Henderson.
Round 3, you go to Tennessee, where the defensive tackle Omar Norman Lott is sitting.
Uh-oh.
Is this a Osa replacement?
This is your guy here, Brian.
Yeah, this would right here would be a pretty good option for you as that 3 technique. And with him, he's one of those guys. He played at Arizona State initially in his career, but you have to kind of pay attention to when he's in and out, because Tennessee rotates their guys quite a bit. But he's got explosive first step quickness. He can penetrate. He does things like he's usually the first guy off the snap. When you watch Tennessee's line, he's usually the first one coming off the ball. He's super active. His quickness helps him as a pass rusher. He's really, really good with his hands, the way he fights off pass blockers. There's some snaps where he gets stuck a little bit, but the effort to kind of free himself and fight through it makes him a much better finisher right there. So that guy at 6'3", 315 pounds, 3 technique would not be a bad not be a bad get there in the third round.
Be stealing in the third.
That would be cool, but I mean, after getting McMillan and Henderson in the first 2 rounds, I'm just having a party. You know, it's all gravy after that. I think you would have significantly upgraded your offense, put some firepower back in this thing for Dak. Now, do you think McMillan will be available at 12?
Probably not.
Why not?
No.